Brooke telling me that, oh, we're totally going to get you to Senior Gold this month. And I was like, I don't think that's going to work. Like, it's going to come down to the wire. I didn't have, like, I wanted to have 60 people by the end of the month because I knew I had 7 white lines. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to make it. And I'm like at 295 right now or something. So I definitely made it.
Yeah. Gosh.
I'm like, never ceases to amaze me how Brooke knows like what I need when I need it. So yeah, pretty crazy. I'm super excited because next month I'll rank Ruby. So I'm all set up to do that already. And I'm so excited. I don't know why in my mind, like for some reason, Ruby like just sticks out to me. It was something that I never thought that I could achieve. Yeah. And so it was like just crazy.
Yeah.
I believe that it's like achievable. So yeah.
No, I totally get it because for me, like hitting Ruby was the turning point of, and now I was more excited to hit Ruby than I think I was to hit Emerald. It was just like,
that's totally how I feel.
I'm really doing this, you know?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people feel the same way too. So there's something about that rank that it's magical. And I am so excited for you. Oh my goodness.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so look at your little man. Okay, so tell us how long you've been in Plexus, what you first thought about it, just your story. So.
Okay, so I first started Plexus 4 months ago, and I had this little man right here in June, and I did really, really great. I didn't have any postpartum. I was sitting by the pool with my kids all summer, feeling like I had beat postpartum, and wasn't I such an experienced mom now, and I had all this control over like my body, and I was just so proud of myself. Because I had used all of my experience from my 3 other babies to have this perfect experience with my 4th baby. And then school started and everything like fell apart. And I had all of this anxiety and postpartum come in, and I didn't know that you could have postpartum late onset. I thought it was something that you either had right when you had your baby or you didn't have it at all. And so I was really ashamed by that, which sounds so silly, but I was. Hold on one second. I'm going to give my son a phone so he goes away.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I do the same thing. I told myself I would never be that type of mom that was using electronics. And anytime I'm on a Zoom or a call, I'm like, here, go away, sit down, be quiet. And she loves it too because I try to only give it to her when I'm doing that. So it's a special thing for her.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay.
My husband works late on Mondays, so this is what we get.
Well, I appreciate it even more.
Yeah. So this is my real life. So anyway, I was really ashamed that I had had some postpartum. I felt like it was my fault. I was really, really stressed out, so I lost all of my milk. And I thought I didn't know it because my baby was not fussy. And so when I took him in for his 4-month appointment, he had only gained 5 ounces in 2 months. And this was devastating to me. And I think it really kind of pushed me off further into postpartum at that point. And so anyway, I was going to go on Prozac, and then Brooke started posting about Plexus, and I thought she was crazy. And I told my husband I had wasted our money on a supplement that wasn't going to work, and I was also not going to fill my Prozac prescription. And he kind of laughed at me and walked out the door, and the rest is history. My anxiety and postpartum went away after 10 days using Plexus. I've only had 2 naps in the last 4 months. My sugar cravings went away, so I've lost 20 pounds over the last 4 months. And typically when I lose weight while I'm nursing, I lose all of my milk, but my milk supply has doubled. And I just I remember like when Brooke first talked to me about the business, telling her, I'm not interested, and please don't ever talk to me about it ever again. And I think she probably was like holding her breath on the other end of the line, like, oh my gosh, please no. Like she'll come around, but she was like, okay, yeah, okay. And then when it started working for me, I just like had to share with people because I wanted them to know that a supplement could do this, because I didn't know that a supplement could do something like this. And so just very organically, like my mom, my best friend, my sister-in-law all signed up. And then all of a sudden it was like I had 20 people under me. And I feel like I just shared my story and how that helped me, and they just wanted to join. And then I felt like I had to like kind of dig a little bit deeper after that. I feel like the first 50 people were the hardest people for me to enroll. And I think that's because at that point you are doing a lot of the work by yourself. You're building your team, and you don't really have an idea of where you're going all the time, and you think it might be unachievable to get to Ruby or Emerald or whatever. I know that I kind of thought, like, I remember talking with Amy that first night that I shared on Facebook, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, like, they were talking about being Emerald. She was a senior Ruby at that time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna be senior Ruby in 2 months. Like, I remember looking at Amy that first night being like, I'll never get that far. There's no way that I will get that far. And Brooke and Amy would just tell me to do things. They would say, oh, okay, you need to reach out to these people, and you need to try and get 50 people by the end of the month so you can be senior gold. And I was just like, you guys are crazy. Like, I can't do this. And then Amy threw me into like every single group on Facebook. Like, I was in like Journey 101, Destination Dual, Mastermind, and I like could barely keep the email straight, but I just tried to do everything that I could. So like in my nooks and crannies, I would do like one Facebook group one day. And then I would, while I was folding laundry, I would listen to Ame Darling talk about the triplex. And then right before bed, when I was putting away the dishes, I'd have my laptop up on my kitchen counter, and I would watch a diamond documentary. And I just made it so that I didn't try to do everything all at once. I did little things step by step, so that I didn't feel like quitting. Because I think sometimes when we get too overwhelmed, we just throw up our hands and quit. And we say, oh, that's not achievable. And so I've just taken it one person at a time, one obstacle at a time. And during all of that, everyone started going through Candida die-off at the same time, because of course I had like 30 people all start the products at the same time, and then like 20 of them go through like horrible die-off. And I was going through die-off through all of this because I was having such rapid growth. And I just like remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like what have I done to my life? Like the first 2 months, I think I woke up every single morning and determined I would not do plexus. Like I remember like getting ready and getting showered and feeling like I was like, okay, I'm not going to post this morning. I'm not going to reach out to people today. And I couldn't not do it. I just kept like wanting people to hear and reaching out to people and responding to messages. And I wanted to post testimonials on Facebook. And so I just kept going, even though it was really stressful. And I like always joke and say, oh yeah, we had a 5th baby and we named it Plexus. Because it literally turned our lives upside down like a newborn baby. And I feel like through all of that, and I'm not saying that to scare anybody off. Like, I hope that that's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying to you is that if you feel like it's pushing you to do more than you think you can, then you're doing it right. If you're not pushing yourself to do more than you think you can, then I think that that's an opportunity for you to see that there's some growth that you can benefit from. Because whether it's your plexus business or your spiritual side or your friendships, you can always push a little bit more to improve a little bit more. And I think that by setting small goals, that's how we achieve those things. So if we,
So,
sorry, were you going to say something?
No, you're good. What are some of the tips that you would give for people that, I mean, because you have been in this for 4 months and you are senior gold now, you're set up for Ruby next month. What are some of the tips that you would tell people that you feel got you such a strong start?
I feel like I just decided, and this is like something that I heard Brooke say really early on, and then I heard myself start saying it, and I thought, why not me? Like, why can't I be emerald? Why can't I be a diamond in this company? Why would I ever tell myself I couldn't? And I spent a lot of time doing positive affirmations. So if there was one thing that I think has helped me the very most, it was that very early on, I said positive affirmations for everything that I didn't think I could do. So I would say, hold on, I'm sorry. So if there was a time where I would say, oh, I'm just not good at getting people off the fence, because I think that's something that a lot of us think very early on. And I would say to myself, yes, I would say to myself, I am good, I am great at getting people off the fence. Even though I wasn't, I would still say, I am so great at getting people off the fence. Mom! Here, take this and go. And my kids know they're going to get anything they want right now. Can you see my daughter back there climbing in the fridge?
Oh, my word.
There's no control.
So I have something to say really quick about Emily and what I've noticed with her. So Emily went very quickly, and it's because she poured into people, and she really, when she was talking about Candida die-off and how she felt horrible and how she had people that felt horrible, it's because Candida affects 30% of people. And all of you have gone through this, right? All of you have had 1 or 2 people that have gone through Candida die-off if it wasn't yourself. Okay, so we have to be educated when we talk to people about Candida die-off, and we need to let people know up front, because if you don't let people know up front, then they're scared. So I have taught a lot of people, this is what Stephanie taught me, you don't oversell plexus. You say from the very beginning, this is not an overnight thing. If you're not willing to commit 60 to 90 days, maybe this isn't the product for you. That's what you need to say. Don't be scared that you're going to lose that person, because if they're not committed enough to give it 60 to 90 days, then that's okay. Let them go do meal replacements. Let them go do Weight Watchers or Shakeology or whatever else they want to do. But that's like, you know, with Emily. Emily has gone so quickly because she tells people, I had Candida. This is what happened, and you could possibly get it too. And then once she goes through all of that, she educates them on the product, and she's working very closely with them. She doesn't sell it and then run. Isn't that what you would say, Emily? Don't
yeah,
sell it and
I
run?
mean, I don't know if I'm sure all of you have this problem. When you're enrolling someone and they get to the backup order screen and they go, what's this? Wait a minute, I don't like this. And so when I enroll people, I watched a video really early on by Sonia Dudley that said, overcoming objections before they come. And I feel like the backup order is that. There are 2 things that I do before I enroll someone. I don't ever let them get to the enrollment screen without telling them they're going to give their social security number. Because there's nothing worse than getting to that screen and then having somebody be like, oh, I'm not interested, I don't want to do it now. And so I always tell people ahead of time a couple of things. I say, you're going to give your social, because then if you share plexus, you're going to be compensated for that. And then I tell people at the end when they get to their backup order, this order is never going to go out unless you want it to go out. And I'm going to be in contact with you many, many times before that ever happens. So I want you to know that you're in control and that you are going to be the one to choose when and what day that goes out. And then they are always very comfortable with that. And then I mark it on my calendar. 3 weeks from that day that I enroll them, I put on there, call Brittany about backup order. And then I do that. I call them many times before then. I check in with them. When they tell me they get their products, I send them exactly how I use my products. I tell them that if they have a headache, that's a hallmark sign of blood sugar imbalance when you're stabilizing blood sugars, so that they know if they get a headache, that's normal and that it's their body healing. And then I ask them if they like the pink drink the next day. And then about 3 days in, I'll send them the Candida die-off information, because I've already told them my experience with die-off while we were enrolling, because I walked them through it over the phone while they enroll. And it provides an opportunity for me to share my experience, so that when their mom or their sister gets a yeast infection a week into Plexus, they're not freaking out saying, oh, Plexus gave me a yeast infection. No, they're saying, oh, I remember Emily saying she had I'm sorry for the guys on the call. She had a 5-week-long yeast infection. This is normal. I remember her saying this is part of the process. And I always tell them, like, this will probably not happen to you. I've never heard of this happening to anyone other than me. But when you educate your people, they are armed with tools to help their people.
Yeah.
And it's just like anything in life. If you go into it not knowing where you're going, you will fail until you figure out how to know where you're going.
Yeah.
And there's this really great quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson that I posted yesterday on Aloha Plexus and Ohana Plexus and on my personal page. And I had it right here, and then I had to give my son my phone. But it said something like, so it's only hard until you master it, and then it's easy again.
Yeah.
And I really feel like in the beginning, that's why I say the first 50 are the hardest, because you're mastering what works and how to enroll. You're trying to figure out how to get people through die-off.
Yeah.
And I just always really, always try to connect with people, so that they know that I care about them and they're not a number to me, because they're not. And I want to help them through that and empathize with them, but also give them the tools that they need to be educated.
Okay. So I have another question, because I know that last month you got, so you're saying, inform people of what could happen, and that this is natural, this is your body healing. You are going through detoxing and getting rid of the junk out of your body. So stick with it. Up your water, so encouraging them through that. That's great. And walking them through when they sign up, and overcoming objections before they get to it. Just like you were saying, the backup order, when you do this, you're going to sign up for it, and then this is a monthly order, but you have complete control to change it, cancel it, whatever you want, afterwards. So giving them that power, that's great. Now, last month, I know that you had signed up, or you had helped, I think 8 people go silver. So what are like 2 or 3 tips that you would tell people about helping people in their team or themselves to go silver?
So I always tell people when they're enrolling, at the very end, right before I say goodbye, I say, hey, by the way, if you'd be willing to post a little 2-liner on Facebook that says, hey, I'm trying this new supplement that helped my friend Emily with her anxiety and postpartum and get rid of her sugar cravings. Does anyone want to do it with me? And I say, can I write that for you so you can copy and paste it into your Facebook feed? Because I know that if you do that, there are people in your life that are praying for something just like Plexus right now. And if they're not religious people, and I know that, I won't use the word praying. I will say, I know there are people that are needing something like this right now. They're waiting for something like this right now. And sometimes most of the time, I would say 75% of the time, people say, yeah, sure, I'd love to do that. And I say, great. When you do that, please tag me in it so I can come on and leave a comment and be supportive. And then anybody that has any interest, how much does it cost? What is it? Can you tell me more about it? Please start a 3-way message on Facebook or through text message with that person, me, and you, And in that message, I want you to write, "Hi, this is my friend Emily. I know you expressed interest about Plexus because, you're wondering how much it costs," or whatever it is that they're wondering about. I'm still new, so Emily's here to answer your questions, and I'm here to learn. Ask away. And then that kind of introduces me, and I can take the lead at that point and say, "Oh, hi, Stephanie. My name's Emily. I'm a mom of 4. And what questions can I answer for you about Plexus? Like, tell me a little bit about yourself." And then typically they will come on and say, "Oh, I've really suffered from postpartum, or I am addicted to cigarettes and I want to get rid of them, or I have insomnia," or whatever it is. "I have fibromyalgia." Like, sometimes people have horrible, like 20 things wrong with them. And they are so desperate that they're willing to talk about that. Brennan, turn that down. And so they'll lift that off, and then I take the lead and say, "Well, here's a video," or "Here's my experience," or "Let me tell you about this." And then they tell me, "Okay, this sounds really good. I like this." And then I say, "I would recommend that you start off with the same thing that I started off on. That's the Triplex Combo Welcome Pack and the X Factor Multivitamin. And I would recommend that for you because it's worked so well for me, and it's worked so well for every person that I've ever enrolled." And then they say, "Well, how much is it?" And I tell them that is $165 plus shipping and tax. And then your second month, it will go to $141 because you're shopping at wholesale at that point. And I just say it like that. And then they say, okay, either they say, "Well, I can't afford that," or they say, "Great, I'm ready to do whatever it takes." And we go do that route. And a lot of the times that person will enroll, and then they will go enroll 3 people themselves because they want their products paid for. And so last month what happened is we just duplicated that every single time that anybody showed interest. Yes, I can. And all of a sudden we had 8 people going silver. It was like one after the other, after the other, after the other, because it just duplicated so well. I think a lot of times people say they're interested in Plexus, and then we just like throw up everything we've ever learned about Plexus onto them.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Whoa, I'm going to need to take a little bit to think about all of this." So that's like the kiss of death. Like, I need to take some time to think about it means like, I'm going to like, either I'm totally overwhelmed and I don't know where to start, or call me in 2 months, and that's no good. Yeah. So I feel like if we just answer like in smaller ways, like, "Here's this video. Let me know what," or like I love the part of this video where, Jennifer Pickett talked about Probio 5 and BioCleanse and how important it is. I really think that with your yeast issues you told me about, this could help you, because then you're educating them on the product in a short video or a testimonial or whatever, and then you're explaining to them why they need it and why it has value to them based off of what they've told you.
Yeah.
And once you create it, if someone says they can't afford it, I would say that 95% of the time, it's because I haven't shown them the value yet. It's not because they can't afford it, because people can afford what they want to afford most of the time. Not always.
Oh my goodness. I tell people that all the time when they're like, yeah. "Oh, but all my friends, they really don't have money for it." And I'm like, it is a rare case where someone really cannot afford something, because more than likely they're carrying around a latte, or they just got their fresh manicure, or their hair done. I mean, everybody has priorities. Everybody has priorities. So that is so awesome. Well, I have some notes, and I'm going to just kind of post these off so everybody who's listening. So, things that Emily has used. And thank you so much, Emily. I know you're
Sorry, I didn't hear that because she's like talking in my ear.
Oh, that is so awesome. So thank you so much for sharing tonight. And Ruby, next month. You are doing that. That is so.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for being patient with all of my kids that were here peeking in the video.
It was kind of refreshing it not being my child. You are so good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so some things that Emily talked about, and I hope you paid attention to, because this girl is a rock star. She did this, starting from don't ever mention this to me ever again, and I just wasted my money on buying these, to now in her 5th month, she is going to be a Ruby ambassador. So don't prejudge. When someone tells you something, just like Brooke said, just be like, okay, and you never know what's going to happen later on. I mean, just like Emily, she could not share. So some tips that she gave that were excellent is, kind of explain, don't oversell Plexus. And then when you do talk to them and ask them questions, ask them and then respond in short things. That way it's not one of those mega posts and you're like, do I really want to read this right now? So short little paragraphs, a video that you watch that again is short. People have a very short time span. I'm blanking out on the word, but they have a very short time that they'll actually be paying attention to something. So keep it short. Be asking them open-ended questions. So, you mentioned this, how long have you been dealing with this? What have you tried before? And what she said about, this month it'll be this price and the next month it'll be this because you'll be wholesale. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So when you're signing someone up, let them know that, okay, they're going to ask for your Social Security, and the reason they ask for this is because they need a way to be able to pay you. And I have never heard of anybody having any type of issues with Plexus when it comes to security. They're really, really on top of that. Eric can attest to that. So that's exciting. So anyway, just letting them know this is the only reason I need it, or the only reason you're going to be putting that in is so that they can pay you, because you can make money off of the products that you're buying from yourself. And then letting them know what the backup order is, saying this is something, it's going to come out each month, so you don't have a shortage of product and you're like, oh no, what do I do now? And you have complete control to change it, alter it, change the date or whatever. So don't worry about that, but you're going to pick, the triplex when you sign up for your backup order. So then later on, you can always change that next month if you want to add something else. So just kind of stopping those objections before they come into play is huge. And again, when they're getting off the phone with you, say, you know what? That little 2-liner statement is excellent, because you are giving them the words to say and they are not going and puking what they think and what they're hoping. And, she did this and this and this and this and this and this and this for her, and I've been looking at it for several months. It's just really short and simple. And people like to read things in about 30 seconds. So if it's really long, again, people on Facebook, they're usually not going to read it. So giving them that short little clip to write and then tag me. And then when they do that, then you see it, your friends see it. We as other ambassadors go on and we're like, oh, that's so exciting. Congratulations on joining. Oh, I noticed this, I had better sleep right away, whatever it is. And we are that encouraging to them right off the bat. And we're also there to help field any negativity or anything like that comes into play. So those are some excellent tips that Emily has, and just keeping it simple. Don't make it difficult. So anyway, we are at our half-an-hour mark. So I am so thankful for you guys coming on tonight. Thank you again, Emily, for sharing your wisdom.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And I know it's hard when you have the kids around, because I've done the same thing.
Oh no, it was so fun. I feel like there was this one video that we watched of Sonia Dudley. I think it was on my birthday back in December, and she talked about how there's no way to balance Plexus with our lives. That's impossible. We need to harmonize so that all the melodies can play in tune together. So for me tonight, I was stressed about it all day. Like, I know I'm a babysitter. I can't, there's nobody that can come and watch my kids. And I thought, you know what? That's okay, because I can't always have the perfect scenario and build my business.
Yep.
It just doesn't exist.
Yep.
So I'm glad, because now I know, okay, like I can still do it even when it's not perfect.
Yep. No, and that is so true. Just like she's saying, if you're waiting for the perfect conditions, so if you're on this and still on the fence about sharing with people, there will never be a perfect time. So sometimes you just have to jump in and do it. And you're going to have obstacles and you're going to have things come up, but powering through it. And you know what? Okay, there's a prime example right there. Emily herself is doing it. So I am so excited and I'm so thankful that you guys were on tonight. Thank you for taking time out of your day. And so I'm going to unmute everyone so you can say goodbye. And then
I have a question. Hey, Steph, real quick, guys.
I can see you.
Can you hear me? Okay, so Journey 101, our training group starts this coming week.
Oh,
If you have not done the 4-week training, we want you to get in on it. The key to success, Stephanie and I's growth, we both did this training the same month and we grew huge because it's holding you accountable and it's holding you accountable. You're seeing others do it. You're learning stuff. So get into the Journey 101 group. Let your upline know. Let Steph or I know. Also, get your downline in it. If you have any team members, the key is to get them in this. Send them a personal message. Hey, I'd really like for you to try this. Yeah. Okay, keep it personal. Don't just tag them. Send a personal message. I'd like for you to be in this training starting March 6th. I'll work with you. I'll be there every step of the way for you. And it's very important, guys. So just remember the March training too.
Thank you, Amy. I almost forgot that. That's awesome. So yeah, the training is going to start on the 7th. So really be messaging everybody, getting them pumped up about it because it really can be that game changer because it's giving you step by step everything you need to know to be a success. You don't have to wonder, what do I need to do or what do people say? There's a whole support team. You're going to feel so equipped when you're done. So if I didn't forget anything else, I will unmute everyone and we can all say bye. Thank you guys.
Working hard.
Bye, everybody.